Hello everyone. In today's video we will again touch on the topic of the content warning game, namely monsters. Their characteristics, features, as well as their impact on views. Also, before watching this video, I advise you to look at the viewing guide that was recently released on the channel. This will help you more easily understand what exactly you should shoot in the game. Well, let's get started. So, let's divide all entities into classes according to danger. The first, peacefully; the other, those that do not bring any harm, and sometimes can bring benefit. Peace of mind. A danger that can harm or even kill players, but does so with great difficulty. The formidable ones, those who should be feared, can be beaten, but if you take precautions, everything will be fine. Tormentors are those that pose a great danger, only experienced divers can work with them. Destructive horrors, deadly. Read the passage and close your eyes. As I talked about in the views guide, for certain actions you will receive a certain multiplier to views per frame. So, each monster has its own multiplier, and this is what I will voice for each monster. And the first one in line is the zombie snail. A zombie snail is a creature anatomically similar to a human, but with a snail-like head and shell. This creature has a large diamond-shaped mouth, is the same height as the player and is completely gray in color. The zombie snail is a monster that you will meet often. They are slow when they start to take down quite a bit of health. It's quite easy to get out of his grip. All you have to do is move and spam a jump in the opposite direction from him. Do not neglect its seemingly harmless appearance. If you are attacked by a group of zombie snails, I advise you to simply hide from them. Recording these monsters will bring in some views. Bonus for shooting this monster X 25. Smiley Smiley is a short humanoid creature with gnarled limbs. Too big head and overall caricatured body. His eyes are small and very far away on his face. Beneath them are noticeable eye bags and a large, toothy grin. He stands hunched over, knees bent and hands clasped behind his back. This is one of those monsters that can initially be puzzling because it is not clear what it is. What to expect from him and what his cry actually means. He is small, runs fast, contact with him usually does not last long and in the end he simply runs away in a random direction. There is a rumor that he can deprive everyone of his hearing with his screams, but this is not a confirmed fact. The multiplier for Smileys is already a little higher, X 35. Star Trap. This monster always hangs on the ceiling. It is very easy to miss it, since its tongue, which it lowers to catch its victims, is transparent, so you need to constantly look at the ceiling. In order to counter him, you need to throw some object into his mouth. This can be done not only by your partner, but also by you yourself if you find yourself in such a situation that day. Only for this you will have to swing and deftly throw an object into the trap. In general, if you are careful and dexterous, this monster does not pose any threat. For shooting a ceiling trap, you already receive an X 55 view. This is the average that is found in most monsters. Slug. The slug is a large liquid yellow creature that moves around the map on 4 gnarled legs. Jelly looks a lot like flowing water and is sometimes hard to see in the dark. However, it has good shine and is easily illuminated by light. The slug sneaks up behind the player, grabs him and very quickly carries him away in a random direction. They do not cause any damage, but are still dangerous as they can easily disorientate. But they can also be useful in cases where you are lost or low on oxygen. They may lead you to the exit, but the chance of this happening is very small. There is also unconfirmed information that the slime saves players from other monsters by moving it to safety. Its view multiplier is 50. Larva. The larva is a large skeletal creature in anatomy, reminiscent of a centipede. She tries to throw her target for the kill. If there is a teammate near the picked-up player, the maggot will redirect its throw towards them, dealing damage to both. If you are running from a larva in a group and you hear whispers, congratulations, it means it is after you. In order to hide from the larva, you need to turn corners as often as possible so that it loses sight of you. Also, the larva pursues you inconsistently, with an approximate pursuit time of 20 to 25 seconds. She is also affected by a shock stick and a gabble, a multiplier for views of 55. Iron Maiden. The Iron Maiden is a large silver cage with 4 robotic creatures and a head. At the top of the maiden's cage is an oval head with a pained face. She only moves when she is not in the player's line of sight. If you hit the Iron Maiden, this does not mean that you will die 100%. Your comrades can still save you if they complete the CAPTCHA on the screen in front of the Maiden. In order to hide from the Iron Maiden, you just need to look at her and step back into some other room. As far as is currently known, she cannot move between zones, so she will not be able to follow you further into another zone or room. The shock stick has no effect on it. There are 2 multipliers for shooting the Iron Maiden. If you just remove it x50, if you successfully completed the CAPTCHA another x20. Ashastic is a large gray skeletal creature that moves briskly on all 4s. Its anatomy resembles that of a dog, but it has a large ear on its head and its legs are quite long. Ashastic is attracted to the voices of players, and he can hear them at quite a distance. When he hears another player, he begins to quickly crawl towards him and dial lands on him, causing minor damage, but at the same time pins the player to the floor. Yes, he loves noise, but he doesn't like it when it's loud. To scare him away, start screaming. And he will run away, a multiplier for x55 views. Mixer is a tall gray creature with a large automatic whisk on its head, similar to those used for baking. The Mixer is very humanoid in all respects, however he has no arms and is approximately twice the height of the player character. The Mixer wanders around the map until he spots someone, then he gets up and starts attacking. Take some time to properly prepare your attack. The Mixer will rush straight towards the target, knocking out half the player's health if they get in its path. If a creature hits a wall, it will stagger and fall to the floor, but will quickly get back to its feet and begin attacking again. The Mixer's pathfinding function is known to glitch at times, and it may make sharp turns if it is unable to reach its target due to objects in its path. This can lead to some bugs, for example, it causes damage without direct contact with the player. The Mixer is a very primitive monster, so its attacks are quite easy to dodge. But if you are in a narrow corridor, I recommend using a shock stick or gaball, a multiplier for x40 views. Dog Twirl is a large robotic creature with a digital screen face. This face displays a neutral expression and rarely smiles. The dog Twirl has 4 legs on which he walks and which make robotic noises when he moves. A machine gun with a flashlight under the barrel is attached to the body of this creature. This flashlight is bright red, which is why we use the flashlight to identify this monster before it comes at us. The dog Twirl searches for players on the map, shining a flashlight in different directions. When it finds a target, the light from the flashlight narrows on the victim's torso, and after 2 to 3 seconds a heavy fire begins on the target. The dog will stop attacking you if you are behind cover. But he will approach the place where he last saw you, so simply going behind cover is not enough. As soon as you go behind some object, you need to change your position. Also keep in mind that the shock stick has practically no effect on him. He sends the dog Twirl to the side for only a split second. Multiplier for shooting x55. Bomber appears as a humanoid creature with severe deformations and mutations. He has no legs, they are replaced by short stumps. His body is covered with what looks like a fungus. Bomber crawls around the map looking for players. As soon as he finds someone, he pulls a bomb out of his body and towards the player. Bombs have a 5-second fuse, which gives enough time to retreat to a safe place. If you get too close, he will grab you and detonate all the bombs he has. It is possible to break free from its grip, but many fail. You can also pick up the bomb that the bomber throws. This will reset the fuse and you can use yes, but at the moment they do not cause damage to anyone except the players themselves. Multiplier for shooting the X-55 bomber Magnacella or Ghost. This creature is approximately the same size as the player, which resembles a child with a cutout sheet. In the hands of the Maniacella we can see a silver knife. His presence is signaled by children's hunts. Magnacella will chase random players until he finds a suitable target. Usually this player is at the back of the team or the one that no one is looking at. His speed is slightly lower than the running speed of the players, but he will change the target to those who are in close proximity to him. If the Maniacella catches up with you, he will pounce and start stabbing you with his knife. Magnacella can be easily slowed down when going around corners, but he will chase players until he gets bored. This can take approximately 10 to 30 seconds for a larva. He is also vulnerable to shock stick and gabble. Views multiplier x55. The Little Eye is a large stone creature with a round body. It has 3 eyes on its body, 1 at the front and 2 at the back, forming a triangle. The front eye is surrounded by a sharp feathered mane, and the back is covered with stone feathers. The arms and legs of this creature are very sharp. The eye will stand in place somewhere on the map near the respawn point and will not move until the light falls on it. It can be any light, even light from a camera. You can still shoot him from a distance where he's not fully lit, but if light gets in his eyes, you'll anger him and he'll start attacking. Its speed is slightly faster than players' walking speed. The Little Eye does very good damage. It can kill you in 4 to 5 hits. For shooting the eye, you will receive an X55 multiplier. Great Splash. The Great Splash appears as one of the most difficult creatures to encounter in the game. For him to appear, you must find a painting with his image. He can spawn either somewhere on the location or directly on your ship. The splash moves very quickly, you may not even notice how it kills you. This is one of the biggest threats found in the game so far. If you met him, God bless you. Shooting the Big Slap will give you one of the biggest multipliers of any monster. X200 for an aggressive one and X100 for a peaceful one. Flicker. Flicker is a tall, red, one-eyed creature. When the flicker gets close to the player, it emits a mechanical growl. After growling, he comes out of the invisibility state and begins to crawl around the location. If you looked at the flicker, it will begin to glow bright red. Anyone who looked at its glow would be unable to look away from the flicker and would subsequently be killed within seconds. If you somehow remove the flicker, you will get the X350 to views. This is currently the largest multiplier you can get in the game, as it is almost impossible to do. Well, that's all for now. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope that with the information presented about monsters and creatures, your content in Content Warning was useful and interesting for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a new video about Content Warning and other indie projects. Stay in touch and see you soon.